back to the Tobago Updates morning show, and we have in studio with us Inspector Kathlyn Sterling of the T.T.P.S. Good morning, Inspector Sterling.
Hi, good morning, Mr. Holland. Good morning to our viewers.
And how was your carnival this year? It was work?
I work very hard for the carnival.
All right, so you're here to give us some T.T.P.S. updates, some statistical updates about the operations of the T.T.P.S.
Okay, so within the carnival season, we still had our crime updates taking place. However, we're seeing that we're having a decrease in violent crimes. We're talking about the gun crimes and the shootings, the woundings. We had a decrease. But however, we've seen an increase in our property crimes, which we're talking about the break-ins, larcenies, dwelling houses. So on one aspect, we have a decrease, and the other aspect, we have an increase. So we asking persons, especially during the carnival holidays, carnival season, we see persons leaving their homes to go to parties and reveling, and persons capitalizing on those opportunities to break into persons' homes. So we had a lot of break-ins during the carnival period. However, what we asking persons to do is, we do some target hardening in terms of putting proper locks on your doors, securing your house, having proper lighting around the property, cameras. I mean, a lot of us take cameras for granted, but it helps a lot. Even though persons might be smart enough to use masks and stuff like that to cover the face, but it do help in the solving of these matters. So yes, we know we went and we had a good time, but we must secure our surroundings and our valuable property.
Okay, and I heard that you said that more of the violent crimes are down, is down. How much of that would you say is accredited to the activities of the T.T.P.S. T.T.P.S. and Joint Army patrols and exercises during the SOE? Well,
as you know, we in the SOE and we have the additional help of the Defense Force.
Yes.
So in that aspect, it lessened the violent crime because we've seen more officers out on the streets. We're doing more patrol, more house searches. So it really reduces the crime in the violent crime in Tobago. We have a 26% decrease of violent crimes in Tobago, and that is a great increase in comparison to last year.
No, I know you spoke about the break-ins and persons taking more caution, but in the experiences of the T.T.P.S., is it that the majority of the break-ins are due to, let's say, a laissez-faire attitude by homeowners or property owners?
Yes, Tobagonians, we have a laissez-faire attitude when it comes to our house because we are accustomed, leaving our places unsecure and going. But the climate has changed. Persons use it as opportunity to break into your place. So you might have, the lock might not have been locking properly, or we might just leave the louvers open or the windows open, not locking them. But now we have a different climate where persons are using this as opportunities to get into private homes. So we asking persons, be a little more aware, do a little more target hardening, lock your doors so that we could eliminate the break-ins. Because I'm at the Sherman Road Police Station and I could tell you we're having a lot of break-ins, especially in the Plymouth area.
Right.
A lot of break-ins. So, we're asking persons to be more aware and secure your homes properly.
Because, that was going to be my next question, as in if it's a particular region in the island that is being targeted with these break-ins. Does it seem to be like lone wolf crimes, or is it seem to be organized by a gang of persons?
Well, I wouldn't say organized by a gang of persons, but just opportunities. But Tobago is known for property crimes, which is break-ins. So that's our highest crime. We call that our tower crimes. So we have a lot of break-ins, right? But I think persons, we need to do better in terms of securing our spaces.
Okay, and in terms of detection rates concerning these property crimes, these break-in crimes, Is it that the T.T.P.S is being very successful in catching the perpetrators, bringing them to the courts towards justice?
Yes, we have well, for the period within review, we have a 36% detection rate presently. And, we always striving to do better to increase that detection rate, right? But we working hard, the officers are working really hard, and we solving a lot of the crime. But then we have a lot of repeat offenders because we having persons been arrested, taken before the court, and then they are back on bail. So then the crime, just repeat the same crime over and over. And then we have some new kids on the block that we don't know about, So they're not in the system. So, kind of evading us. But we working and we working hard to solve these crimes.
One of the issues with the repeat offenders, or even first-time offenders, do you see any sort of pattern in terms of a recurring motive for these break-ins? Is it to feed a need? I know sometimes persons may do these petty crimes to probably feed a drug habit or something of that nature.
So, you see, we have the carnival period. So, a lot of persons want to go out, they want to dress up nice.
Right.
They want to be out there. So, at this time, we have an increase in the break-ins because persons going taking items, selling items so that they could feed their habit, right? So, Carnival, we'll have a upsurge in break-ins, items being stolen to sell. Normally we'd have an upsurge in robberies, but this Carnival, we didn't have that upsurge in robberies. So I guess that was attributed to the officers being out there, the defense was, and they have the powers now that they could search. Not just the police alone could search persons during the SOE. So the soldiers are out there and they're also searching. So that's an additional help. That's why we see a decrease in the robberies for the carnival period.
Now, Inspector, I know you spoke about homeowners and property owners taking preventative measures. But are there any mitigating measures that the T.T.P.S can take or did take during the carnival period to sort of minimize these property crimes?
So what we did, we had a lot of walkabouts within the communities, talking to homeowners, giving them tips how they can safeguard their property and their house. So we did it in each district, each station district. A lot of that was done to aid in helping these owners treat with safeguarding their property.
Okay. And then conversations with these homeowners and in the walkabouts, did you get the sense from the homeowners that the perpetrators of these crimes might be people that they're familiar with, people within their communities, or is it strangers coming into the communities and perpetrating these crimes?
Most times, strangers coming into the communities because, we have a lot of, long ago you could have said, I know this person, yes. I know this person. Now we've seen people in your communities that you don't even know. So then when persons are at work, they use that opportunity to get into persons' spaces. So, we ask persons, to identify persons who they believe might be perpetrators. And if you see something, say something to us so that we could able to treat with it.
I know that you spoke about utilizing cameras and lights on the outside, proper locks and that kind of thing. One of the things that Tobagonians pride themselves on a lot that separates them from homeowners or property owners in Trinidad is that we don't really have to utilize burglar proofing and that kind of thing to protect our properties. Do you think that it might become a necessity now on the island that homeowners should seek to implement burglar proofing to properly protect their properties?
Well, yes, since crime has changed, we need to change our mindset also. And as you said, we believe that we don't have to have burglar proof and we don't have to have as our counterparts in Trinidad, but that is not so. Crime have changed, so we need to change with the time. We need to have burglar proof, we need to have proper locks, we need to lock our doors. This must happen.
Okay. I want to just touch back on the situation with the violent crimes, right? With the violent crimes, they said that it has been down significantly in Tobago. What has been the feedback from persons within the communities or those designated hotspots in those areas to the response of the T.T.P.S. and the Army patrols in those areas?
Well, well, most of the communities welcome the T.T.P.S. and the Army joint patrols within the areas. So we have like the Lescoto Golden Lane area, and we have an influx of the T.T.P.S. and the Defense Force patrolling rigorously up there. So, you know, we see the decrease and the villagers, and they are really appreciative of the police and the police presence in those areas.
Okay, so we just want to shift focus a bit now to Carnival and the age group or the demographic of some of the participants in Carnival. And we see it's a recurring theme. We see a number of underage children participating in carnivals, particularly like in Juve celebrations and that kind of thing. I know some persons feel uncomfortable about it. Is that sort of a legal issue in terms of the age of participants in Carnival?
Okay, so hold on, what I must say, we had a safe carnival in Tobago, right? The police were out in the numbers, the defense officers were out in numbers, so we had a relatively safe carnival in Tobago. However, we saw, especially for the Codler Hall Juve, we saw a lot of children reveling within those bands. And, you know, we asking promoters of these events, you know, to censor the ages of children in these bands. Because we're talking about alcohol, we're talking about drugs happening within that space. And if we are to protect our children, we cannot have underage children parading in these bands. We have what we call the Kiddies Carnival that is catered for children. So we asking promoters, band leaders, and even parents to ensure that children participate in Kiddies Carnival and adults participate in the Juve celebrations that catered for adults. Because we had a lot of instances where children were hospitalized because they were too intoxicated. They don't know themselves, and you know, they give the emergency personnel extra work because we have to cater for security and looking at these children. So parents have to be more responsible in sending our children out to celebrations. We cannot send children where alcohol is being used or being shared at that in those instances. So we need to do better.
So in the cases of those instances where children had to be hospitalized because of alcohol consumption, who holds the legal responsibility for that? Is it is it the promoters, or is it the parents who allow the children to go to the events in the first place?
I think all of us share a responsibility with our children. We cannot leave it up to one group of persons, although the parents are responsible for your children's well-being and where your children go, right? But as a band leader, you should know who you're taking into your band, who are you registering in your band to play a mass. And it's not about the numbers to say, well, yes, I have 100 persons, but out of the 100 persons, 50 were children. That is not good enough. We need to be more responsible. And because we've seen even a lot of children leaving, running away to go into the bands, and it's the mud band and the Codler Hall Juve, right? So parents have to be more responsible and take care of our children. In instances like these, we have the gender-based, the Children Authority that will step in and interview these parents to find out how, you know, why the children was in this situation to cause this to happen. But after that investigation, then we see what direction it goes. But parents have to be more responsible for their children, especially for the carnival season.
So currently, those cases where children were intoxicated, they have the attention of the authorities in terms of criminal investigations?
Well, we wouldn't say criminal as yet. We're doing investigations and then we see where it goes. Because there are instances that children will leave home and the parent not aware that the child have left home. So there will be an investigation, and after that investigation, we see where it goes.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Inspector Sterling, for being with us this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from Inspector Sterling, Inspector Kathlyn Sterling, giving us the T.T.P.S updates and speaking on the issue of underage children in the Carnival celebrations. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back. But do us a favor, share the live, share the live, share the live. Your friends and your families want to get in on the conversation as well. We'll be right back after these messages.